Is it the smell from the bakery was amazing, the smell of the bakery was amazing, or the smell by the bakery was amazing? I know, prepositions like by, from, and of can be really confusing, but you're not the only one who struggles with this. In this lesson, I'm going to show you exactly when to use each preposition with plenty of clear examples so you can speak English more accurately, sound more natural and fluent, and express yourself clearly in advanced conversations. And at the end of the video, I'm also going to share with you the top 5 mistakes that I see students making with these prepositions all the time. Mistakes that you can avoid starting today. Are you ready? Before I explain which prepositions to use, let me give you a quick piece of advice. You see, when I was learning French, I didn't just learn a preposition and translate that preposition into English. Instead, I really paid attention to how that preposition was used in the language. You see, if you learn the prepositions in context, you'll never make a mistake. You know, for example, estoy en casa means I am at home. Vivo en España means I live in Spain. Ponlo en la mesa, put it on the table. So, I mean, there you can see, you cannot translate prepositions from your language into English and vice versa. You have to learn them in context, and that is exactly what we're going to do in this lesson. If you're new here, I'm Greg from English with Greg, and on this channel I help make advanced grammar simple, and I help you with your British English pronunciation so that you can speak English clearly and understand native speakers easily. And you can now download the latest edition of my Quick Fix magazine. This week's edition is a From, Off, By special. You will see all the content from today's lesson used naturally in a story. You will also learn some really useful chunks and have some fun exercises and a writing challenge, which will all help you learn everything from this lesson in a fun and effective way. There's a link up there, there's a link in the description, or you can scan the QR code in that corner. All you do is you enter your email address and I will send it to you via email. And the best thing is, once you are on my mailing list, I will send you a new edition of the magazine every week. Okay, so when do we use the preposition of in English? Well, generally, think that we use of to show a connection between two things. Let's have a look at some examples to make this clearer. The sound of laughter filled the room. Here, there is a connection between the sound and laughter. The sound of laughter. The idea of traveling alone scares me. Again, we have a connection between the idea and traveling alone. The idea of traveling alone. Another one. The fear of failure is powerful. Here we have a connection between the fear and failure. The fear of failure. And finally, the owner of the house is away. Again, we have a connection between the owner and the house. The owner of the house. Just looking at this last example a little bit more carefully, we don't generally say the house's owner is away. Instead, we say the owner of the house. Similarly, we don't say the city heart is very busy. We would say the heart of the city is very busy. And if you want a full explanation of why we do that, then watch that video there. It's about the TV remote or the TV's remote, but I go into everything in much more detail in that video. Okay, when do we use the preposition from in English? Well, basically we use from to show where something or someone comes from. I'm from England. This message is from my student. The message originates from my student. He borrowed the book from the library. Okay, where does the book come from? It comes from the library. He borrowed it from the library. The train goes from London to Edinburgh. Again, where does the train originate? Where is it from? It comes from London, so it goes from London to Edinburgh. And that really is a good example of the second explanation of when we use from, which is to show the starting point of something. For example, the bus leaves from the main square. Okay, it starts at the main square. He graduated from university last year. Okay, the university is the starting point of his life as a graduate. Okay, we can also use from to show cause, like to explain why something happened. He's tired. Why? From working all night. Her hands were red. Why? From the cold. Okay, just focus. We use from plus the gerund, from working, or from plus a noun, from the cold, when we want to explain the cause of something. Now, if you're preparing for a B2 exam, or you just want to finally feel confident using grammar like this, then check out my brilliant B2 course. It's helped hundreds of students break free from lower intermediate English and have a really strong level of upper intermediate English like this. There's a link in the description, and if this is the type of grammar that you generally have difficulty with, you're going to make absolutely brilliant progress with the brilliant B2 course. Okay, so next up, when do we use the preposition by in English? Well, we use by to explain how something happens, the method. Okay, so we traveled, how? How did we travel? By car. You can send it, how? Via what method? By email. She paid. How did she pay? By card. All right, there are a few more ways that we use by. We use it in passive sentences to show who did the action. For example, the book was written. Who did that action? By George Orwell. The photo was taken. Who did that action? By my brother. And the decision was made. Okay, but who did that action? The decision was made by our manager. And finally, we use by to talk about location. So when something next to something else. She sat by the window. In other words, she sat next to the window. There's a bench by the fountain. Okay, you have the fountain. Next to the fountain is a bench. Let's meet by the cafe at 3 o'clock. Okay, so not in the cafe, but next to the cafe. Now, let's go back to the 3 sentences from the beginning of this video. I said, the smell from the bakery was amazing, the smell of the bakery was amazing, and the smell by the bakery was amazing. So which one is correct? Well, they're all correct, but they all have slightly different meanings. The smell from the bakery was amazing. Okay, from, this is where something starts. Okay, where something originates from. So the smell was originating or coming from the bakery. The smell of the bakery was amazing. Here we have of, so we are connecting the smell and the bakery. That's fine too. And the smell by the bakery was amazing. Here we are using the physical location. So imagine you are standing next to the bakery. Amazing. Okay, so of shows what the smell is, fresh bread. From shows where the smell is coming from, the bakery. And by is the physical location. Perfect. Now here's a quick question for you. Which of these sentences is correct? I'm a subscriber of English with Greg. I'm a subscriber from English with Greg. or I'm a subscriber by English with Greg? Well, the correct answer is I'm a subscriber of English with Greg. So if you subscribe right now, you can say that too. And trust me, when you do, it's going to feel fantastic. Right, now let's have a look, as promised, at the top 5 preposition mistakes that you absolutely need to avoid with the prepositions by, of, and from. And these are all real mistakes that I've seen and heard this week. And now, hopefully, you won't make them. Okay, so number 1, she's the sister of his friend. No, this sounds completely unnatural in English. Instead, with possessions, we have to use the apostrophe S, okay, the possessive. She is his friend's sister. Okay, that's something, again, that I talk about more in the video I mentioned earlier. I'll put a link to that in the description. Number 2, he's tired of working all night. Here, we should say, he's tired from working all night. Remember, we use from plus the gerund to explain the cause of something, why something is true. He's tired from working all night. Number 3, the book was written from George Orwell. No, it's the passive here. And remember, when we have a passive sentence, like the book was written, we need by to explain who did that action. So here it should be, the book was written by George Orwell. Number 4, she paid with card. Again, as I mentioned in this video, if we're explaining the method, how something is done, we use by. She paid by card. And finally, a really common one, he is of Liverpool. This makes no sense, and it's not clear what you want to say. If you're telling me where this person is from, then we need from. He is from Liverpool. Okay, he's a Scouser. He was born in Liverpool. However, if you want to say that his favourite football team is Liverpool, then by, of, from, we don't use either. We don't use any of those words. We have to say he is a Liverpool fan or he supports Liverpool. So congratulations, you are not going to make these common mistakes that most other language learners make. And now you know when to use of, from, and by. The next step is to learn how to use in, on, and at. And that video explains perfectly how to do that. Don't forget to download the new edition of the Quick Fix magazine. And thanks for watching. Bye for now.